Dave and I are on a little Alberta road trip because we have a new camera to look at.
This is the brand new Sony RX10 V.
Our premium bridge camera is back, baby. Let's find out.
I was a big fan of the original RX10 IV, but it's been long discontinued and it's been around for a long, long time, but I'm still surprised by the used prices it's fetching. It's a very popular camera, so what has Sony done to make this camera that much better after so many years?
The reason why this is interesting is because we have what we call a bridge camera. So this has a lens built onto it, gives you a crazy zoom range of 24 to 600 millimeters, and it gives you this sensor that's a Type 1 sensor. It's 20 megapixels and it's stacked with some new features that are built into it. Definitely a premium camera in terms of the price point, but what we're going to talk about today is how this camera compares, if it's still interesting, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and of course, we were brought out to Vulcan, Alberta to do it.
Does this camera go boldly where no camera has gone before?
Well, Dave, if I'm being honest, this camera can't necessarily go to too many places because it is a pretty big camera. It weighs all in 1,111 grams and it has a fairly large grip on it. And with that lens, you got a pretty sizable package going on here.
Now, the original RX10 IV came out in 2017. That is ages when it comes to...
That was a long time ago.
In the electronics world, in the camera world, that is a long time ago, and there's been substantial updates. Now, if you were lucky enough to have the RX10 IV and you really enjoyed it, there's one thing you hated about that camera, and that was the battery life, because it used the W battery. Thankfully, one of the big changes to this camera is an update to the battery. Now we have the Z series battery, which is fantastic.
Yeah, CPA rating on this is 630 shot. We have a single SD memory card slot. Now, this is kind of designed for being more of like an enthusiast or everyday type camera, so you don't necessarily have to have that redundancy. However, with the price point of it, I would have maybe expected to see having an extra card slot. That said, we do have two USB ports, one for charging and one for data transfer, which is very nice. They did improved weather and dust sealing on it, and a bigger EVF. It's 3.69 million dots, and on the back of the camera, we have a tiltable 1.62 million dot LCD screen. Now, it doesn't have the full articulation, but it is nice that it has at least the tiltable hinge on the back.
Yeah, and we do have an updated on-off button as well. So where the previous generation had it mounted onto the rocker switch here, now we have the telephoto wide zoom there, but it is separate behind there.
Yeah, another addition is actually having a dedicated photo and video switch on the top of the camera under the PSM dial. So that's really nice to see, and a little bit of customization. Now, one other thing that I really like for action cameras is having a button that will actually get you going into your high frame rates. And so you can do that with this. You can customize a button, and so that you can go into, what is it, their supercharge mode or super duper power.
It's exactly what they call it. Look it up in the manual. It's super duper power. Little asterisk Evelyn next to it.
For the high frame rate shooting. I don't know what it's called. Speed boost, the speed boost button. We'll get a little bit more into the features a bit later on, but that's pretty much the gist of it when it comes to the physicality of this new camera. Lastly, with this lens, which we mentioned before, that is 24 to 600 millimeter equivalent, this lens is, a good size. It has a 72 millimeter filter thread on the front of it, and it does come with a nice lens hood. Vulcan actually has like a great pool, a little bakery, a restaurant that's called Restaurant. It's kind of one of those little towns.
I love how small towns do things. It's so much fun. And Vulcan, with its theme of Star Trek, everything has kind of got a crazy theme to it.
What did you think, Irfan?
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cowboy Ranch meets Trekkie fans.
Yeah.
100%.
Somebody like really loves Star Trek. But yeah, there's lots of other stuff to explore around this area. So we're gonna head over to Nanton, and then when we're on our way, I think we should try to find like a little pond so we can test out some autofocus.
100%. That's the big improvement on this camera, as well as a much improved processor. I mean, obviously, almost a decade later, they're bringing up much more powerful processors. Autofocus should be much better. The predecessor could focus decent, but it wasn't a camera I felt confident enough even trying to shoot anything in motion. Where this one, I think we can. And I'm looking forward to sort of seeing what I expect from it. Am I going to get A7 level of autofocus performance? I'm not so sure, but let's see what Sony's put into this camera.
So as we've been driving around, we're getting used to the feel of this camera, really enjoying it. But let's talk a little bit about performance and image quality. So first of all, we have a 20 megapixel stacked Type 1 sensor in this. So it's a smaller sensor than like your cropped or of course full frame sensor cameras that we see with the Sony Alpha full frame. But we're getting a lot of performance out of this.
We certainly are, but for me the biggest difference was I was hoping to find out was how good the autofocus was. I mean, this is where the predecessor was good for its day, but it was somewhat dated.
It was getting long in the tooth.
It certainly was. Now, I had high hopes. I was expecting sort of A1 level of performance, or A9 III. I've been shooting a lot recently. It's not quite there, right? But it's significantly better than the predecessor. And we were able to shoot a bunch of birds in flight, popped into Frank Lake, and it's a great venue there. I got some great birds in flight shots there, but even more exciting, as we were driving down the back road, we saw a Canadian crop duster who was working the fields there. So it's a very cool airplane that goes by and sprays chemicals on the fields there. And I got some great shots, and there's a great sequence where it came like right over top of us. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, we were able to get some video footage of it as well, of the plane crossing over. Really beautiful. It kind of lent itself well to this type of thing because, you know, here we are kind of driving around photographing birds, doing maybe a little bit of macro photography, and then there's this plane in the sky. We can shoot it at the long telephoto end at 600 millimeter, really bring it close to us. And it was a lot of fun, and I think this is where we see this camera being very beneficial for people that just want to be able to bring something with them. They don't have to worry about a bunch of lenses, they don't have to worry about carrying a bunch of stuff or swapping things out. It's really ready to go, and you just have to grab it and shoot. Now, as Dave was saying, we wanted to see how the autofocus performed, and what we're seeing with the birds is it does do a pretty good job of finding the birds. Sometimes it get a little bit lost in tracking when there are other little items like leaves and flowers and stuff like that around, but overall, from the action and what we're throwing at it today, it was doing a very good job, definitely a huge improvement over the predecessor for this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, there's a black cat running around the neighborhood here, and it was able to lock onto the eyes, no trouble at all.
Yeah, it's doing awesome with people as well.
This camera is doing a substantially better job than it did in the past, so I have a lot more confidence in it and shooting just about everything.
The other thing that was very important for this camera is stabilization. Now, it's added some additional digital stabilization in video, and especially when we're zoomed all the way in, you know, I'm hand holding it, I felt like it was very stable in the video footage. We are seeing that this has some great features built in for it as well. You can shoot S-Log3, we can shoot 120 4K with a crop, and yeah, it's been really enjoyable to play around with.
I mean, yeah, when that plane was coming towards us, I decided to shoot in video, and there's a slight crop to it, but this is handheld video footage at a camera that's, you know, a pretty long extension, and I'm pretty happy with the footage I got out of it.
Yeah, so for video with this camera, it's great. We're seeing some awesome upgrades here. As we mentioned, you can do 4K 120 with a crop. You can shoot 422 10-bit, which you couldn't do before with the predecessor. Yeah. And then of course we also have just like 60p, and we have some of the nice AI tracking modes built into it. Focus was really good. Definitely a huge improvement from the predecessor.
I mean, it just makes for a really versatile camera. I mean, it's like, try and find anything else that's going to come close to what this camera has to offer as a single unit. Now, what I'm finding is the blackout-free viewfinder is really nice when I'm shooting those high frame rates, and I'm really quite impressed with the buffer on this camera as well. I mean, this is more action sequence than I'm probably ever going to shoot in my life. And you can see this camera still going, finally slowing down after what? 100, 200 shots there. So pretty impressive camera.
It's been a typical Alberta day with lots of different weather, hot and cold all day long. But I think the main thing is that we had fun just exploring and playing with this camera. And I think I could see a really strong use case for people that would want something like this as kind of their everyday carry, for having something to travel around with that can really just do it all.
Now, the thing is, it's not trying to compete with your full frame cameras or even your APS-C sized cameras, right? But with any of those cameras, you need to carry minimum 2 lenses to even come close to what this has for range. So it's a guilty pleasure camera, I find, right? As it's self-preservation here, as it sucks itself back into its the kind of control. Now, I find it's a guilty pleasure style of camera because it is shockingly good for what it's designed to do, and you find yourself reaching for it more often than not because the image quality is really quite good with it, and you've got that amazing range. If you're going out for a walk and not sure if you're going to shoot a sunset or if you're going to shoot a flower or if you're going to shoot a coyote from a mile away, you've got something in your hands that can do it.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is it's sort of in that point and shoot territory, but definitely souped up. I mean, as we called before, it's like a bridge camera between like a professional system and something that's a little bit more of a point and shoot. However, at the same time, I could see a lot of people reaching for something like this if they just want something that's all in one. They want something that their phone definitely cannot do. I mean, you can't get this zoom range, you can't get this quality with a smartphone, and we're seeing some really great quality coming out of the images, and I think it would be a good choice for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I mean, the Mark IV was a very popular camera, and it was sort of high in its price range, I found, but we sold a ton of it because it hit a lot of the check marks that people required. So when the Mark V came out, I was really excited to see what advancements they made, how they made some improvements, and I mean, the battery alone has been fantastic.
Yeah, the battery life has been
We've
really
been shooting
nice.
all day, and I'm at 50% battery capacity, so I'm like thrilled by that. I think that's
Yeah.
a brilliant option. The fact that I can charge it to USB-C now is fantastic. This is great. You know, and the ergonomics are improved. The on-off switch is okay. I like it where it is, better than it was before. All kinds of things. The viewfinder's improved. The screen experience is better. The whole camera's been souped up. Can you hear that? Can you hear that, Irfan? Welcome to small town Alberta.
Now, is the RX10 Mark V for everybody? No. Is it going to replace your professional mirrorless camera system? And if you're used to using that, are you going to absolutely be in love with this? Also, no. But if you're someone that is loving taking pictures with a smartphone, you want something that's going to be a big step up, or maybe you're moving from a point and shoot camera, you want something that's kind of all in one, you want to travel, you're maybe like a parent or a grandparent that wants to be able to capture sports, you want to do some birding, you want to do some like adventure stuff, a little bit of action, I think that this camera is a terrific option. I mean, you're able to shoot 30 frames per second, blackout free. That's awesome. It has a great viewfinder, a nice little tilty screen, and of course that zoom range, I just can't really get over it enough. It's quite good, and this lens is awesome. So I think this is a very good choice. Now, of course, we want to know, what do you think about this? After many years, since 2017, is this hitting the mark as far as bridge cameras go? You decide and let us know in the comments below.
Now, is there one feature that you love about this camera that you're so glad they upgraded? Make sure you follow us both on Instagram.
And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's been Dave and Evelyn from the Camera Store. We'll catch you again very soon.
Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching this episode on the brand new Sony RX10 Mark V. If you want to check out more of our recent episodes, click up here. And if you are Canadian, want to shop local, check out thecamerastore.com down here.